This is Mary at the.meri.atelier, and I want to talk about harvesting magazines for those smaller images that I can use on my smaller shadow boxes. And the decorative magazines are really good for that. Like I can get decorative wall elements, the pillows off the bed, the blankets make good background images. There's a tray there with some planters. I can get about 4 images off of just the front of that magazine cover. And then, oh, there's the back. You have to be choosy. You have to make a decision. Do you want what's on the front or do you want what's on the back? I like the scales on the back there. I'm deciding. I like the shells. I'll decide when I cut it apart. Now this magazine has a lot of collectible images in it. There are these mashers. They're already on a shelf, and look at those thermometers on the wall. There's just really a lot of interesting items that can be put in my shadow boxes. And some of them are larger, but if I can't use them on my shadow box, I can use them in my glue booking. There's some dishes, and then there's a vintage seed set down there at the bottom. Now, I do not throw the magazines that I look through, that I harvest, away until I've gone through it 2 or 3 times, because I'm looking for specific things. So I will leave really nice images in there to be harvested at another time. But I look for pictures on the wall. I look for decorative elements on coffee tables, or just things that they have for sale, decorator items. I love the stars. I'm always cutting out stars and pictures on the wall, and wall plaques that say different verses. So I just thumb through it, and then I put it back, and I'll go through it another time. Now this is the Mary Jane magazine, Mary Jane Farms, and they have a lot of vintage images in them. They have book lists, book reviews. I'll grab their book covers to make those little journal charms. So I'm just thumbing through looking for something. Now see, there's a vintage lady. I like the vintage ladies. Sometimes they'll have the vintage photographs in there. I'll pull those out. So like I said, I do not harvest one entire magazine at once and then throw it out. I just don't do that, because I'm looking for something specific in this case, and just kind of thumb through and get what I want, and I'll save it and go back through it another time. And after I've gone through it about 2 or 3 times, then they're ready to throw out. So, oh, there are some double boilers and a Valentine, some vintage items. And then I think I ran across, I ran across some, there's some more books that I can use to make my little journal book charms. Out it comes, and oh, there are the granny squares. I love the granny squares. Those for sure will get used. So there we go. Now, what I do after I've gone through my magazines is I have all these sheets that I've torn out. And now I'm going to do what I call rough cut. And I'll go through and I'll just snip out of each page what image that is calling to me at the time. Like sometimes you got to make a decision. What side are you going to keep? Now, in this case, I decided to keep those shells because they'll make good shadow box items. And then on the other side, there's a red scale, an old vintage red scale. And I just rough cut everything out. And after I get that all done, I'm ready to actually do the fussy cutting. And when I fussy cut, I already have some items here that I've fussy cut. I'll sort the items that I've already have fussy cut to put in that little baggie there, and the ones that need to be trimmed up more will go in another pile, and I'll take those in, and while I'm watching TV or something, I'll fussy cut those. The larger items I will save for glue booking, I put them into a separate pile. So that is what I do to harvest the smaller items. I have a lot of fun doing this. I'll be using them on my shadow box images later. So I just wanted to share that with you. I know that a lot of you enjoy fussy cutting and a lot of you don't. So leave me some comments below. Tell me, do you like to fussy cut the magazines? What type of things are you looking for? So I really hope that you've enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next chapter.